Do you know that just last month in California, a 68-year-old woman had to be rushed to the hospital after eating a nut she thought was harmless? According to jaw-dropping stats from the National Institutes of Health (NIH), a whopping 20% of emergency cases among seniors stem from everyday snacks, with nuts topping the list of usual suspects. Picture this. You're munching on these nuts daily. Could you be unknowingly inviting a deadly risk? In today's video, I'm spilling the beans on exactly 4 miracle nuts that can help you live longer, keep your heart healthy, and even boost your memory. But hold up, there are also 4 other nuts hiding some serious dangers, from poisoning and increased liver cancer risk to nighttime strokes. Sounds scary, right? Don't sweat it, just arm yourself with the right know-how, and you can dodge the risks while reaping the amazing benefits of these tiny superfoods. So, are you 100% sure you're not part of that 20% landing in the ER over snack nuts? Stick around to the end of this video for the clearest rundown on which nuts are actually good for you, and which ones you should cut back on or even kick out of your kitchen for good. I'll make sure you've got all the facts straight, from the latest research numbers to healthy eating tips, so you and your family can feel confident and stay in tip-top shape. Oh, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more health tips down the road. Let's dive into the nuts you should be eating for awesome health. Walnuts, at first glance, look like tiny little brains, and that quirky resemblance isn't far off from their incredible benefits for your noggin. A famous Harvard University study published in the Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that folks who regularly eat walnuts can slash their Alzheimer's risk by up to 45%, a number that's left the medical world stunned. Take Robert, a 65-year-old from Boston, for example. Alzheimer's runs in his family. His mom and grandma both had it. After stumbling across that Harvard study, he decided to switch things up every day. He added about 5-6 walnuts to his breakfast or afternoon snack. The results? Nearly a year later, his memory, reflexes, and recall stayed steady for his age, keeping him sharp and confident. Sure, we can't pin it all on walnuts, but Robert swears they've played a big part in holding off dementia. Let's break it down. Walnuts are packed with omega-3s, the building blocks of nerve cell membranes. When your brain gets enough omega-3s, inflammation takes a back seat, and aging slows down. Nutrition experts even say consistent walnut munching can keep your focus sharp and fend off mild depression in older adults. But it's not just about the brain. Walnuts are loaded with heart-healthy polyunsaturated fats, especially alpha-linolenic acid (ALA), which cuts down bad cholesterol (LDL) and steadies blood pressure. The American Heart Association reports that regular walnut eaters also manage blood sugar better, slashing risks of prediabetes or type 2 diabetes. Plus, their high polyphenol content acts like an antioxidant shield, protecting cells from free radical damage. To max out the perks, though, you've got to play it smart. The sweet spot is about 14 walnut halves, 7 whole nuts a day, roughly 1 ounce. Go overboard, and you might pack on unwanted pounds from extra calories. When buying walnuts, storage matters. They're sensitive to heat and humidity. Leave them in a hot spot, and the oils can go rancid, ruining the taste and nutrition. Also, if you're allergic to tree nuts, check with your doc first. On the mental side, the fear of losing your memory or cognition as you age is real. One day, you might forget your grandkids' names or those precious life memories. Adding walnuts to your daily routine is like a safety net for your brain. Imagine chatting with loved ones. Your mind still quick, your memories intact, no confusion or blank spots. That's the priceless gift a small tweak, like a handful of walnuts, can bring. Bottom line, walnuts aren't just a tasty, buttery snack. They're a quiet hero against Alzheimer's, heart disease, and diabetes. Robert's story is just one piece of the puzzle, but paired with piles of science, Walnuts clearly deserve a regular spot on your plate. Worried about brain health? Or just want an extra weapon against free radicals and chronic inflammation? Give walnuts a prime place in your pantry. And heads up, this is just the first of our 4 top-tier nuts. Next up, we'll uncover more super nuts, each with its own standout benefits to boost your health and help you enjoy your golden years in peace. 2. Almonds. Almonds don't just bring a nutty crunch and a cool brown shell. They're a powerhouse for your heart and blood vessels. Way back in ancient Mediterranean cultures, known for long lifespans, almonds were a staple. Today, modern science backs them up. The Mayo Clinic says eating almonds regularly can drop bad cholesterol, LDL, by up to 15%, a big win for seniors. Meet Linda, a 63-year-old from Florida. She used to struggle with high cholesterol, getting dizzy and winded after climbing a few stairs. After spotting that Mayo Clinic report, she swapped her morning white bread for 23 lightly roasted almonds, about 1 ounce. 3 months later, her LDL cholesterol was down nearly 13%, her blood pressure leveled out, and the dizzy spells faded. Beyond that, almonds help ward off strokes and heart disease thanks to monounsaturated fats, which keep blood vessels flexible and cut down on artery-clogging plaque. Those good fats also keep you full longer, making weight management easier. Almonds are also a magnesium goldmine, a mineral that prevents cramps, irregular heartbeats, and high blood pressure. Eating them regularly is like giving your heart and nerves a natural tune-up, steadying your blood pressure along the way. Their vitamin E levels are a bonus, acting like a cellular shield against free radicals while boosting immunity and keeping your skin looking fresh. That's huge for folks dealing with pollution or harsh sun, where the body's defenses can wear thin. But almonds aren't a free-for-all super nut. They're calorie-dense, so stick to about 23 nuts a day. When shopping, go for raw or lightly roasted, no sugar, salt, or chocolate coatings, since those pile on extra sugar and sodium. Tree nut allergy? Talk to your doctor first. For seniors, high cholesterol and stroke fears are constant stressors. Plenty of folks breathe easier after befriending almonds, finding that keeping cholesterol in check and heart health on track doesn't have to be rocket science. A small swap in your diet can ditch the pill-popping worries or surprise stroke risks. Psychologically, if walnuts give you brain peace of mind, almonds boost your confidence in a strong heart. Aging comes with enough heart-related worries, but almonds with their nutty goodness quietly step up as a trusty sidekick. Try it like Linda. Ditch a couple slices of bread or junky snacks for a handful of almonds. Simple, but the payoff might blow you away. Almonds used to be just a tea time nibble for some, but now they're seen as a mental insurance policy for your ticker. A 15% LDL drop might not sound epic, but that stability can bring real calm in your later years. Who knows, thanks to a steady almond habit, you might score extra quality time with your family. Next, let's move on to a nut that's a game changer for weight and eyesight. 3. Pistachios. The weight and vision solution pistachios, with their subtle sweetness and vibrant green hue, have been a hit in Middle Eastern cultures for thousands of years. Fun fact, some folks call them a secret weapon for staying slim. Compared to almonds or walnuts, pistachios pack fewer calories, making them a solid pick for weight control. For seniors who move less, finding a nutrient-packed snack that doesn't tip the scale is tough, and pistachios fit the bill. Take Mark, a 70-year-old from Arizona. He'd battled extra weight for years, with blood pressure bouncing all over the place. Worried about his health, Mark tried cutting carbs and leaning into healthy fats, but he couldn't kick his snacking habit. Instead of chips or cookies, he switched to about 49 lightly roasted pistachios, 1 ounce a day. A few months later, his BMI dropped, his waist shrank, and his blood pressure settled down. He credits the swap for trimming excess calories, while still keeping him satisfied. Beyond shape, pistachios are a clutch ally for your eyes, thanks to lutein and zeaxanthin nutrients that lower the risk of age-related macular degeneration (AMD). AMDs, a top cause of vision loss, making it hard to read, drive, or recognize faces. As you age, any dip in eyesight feels haunting, so early prevention's a must. Experts say regular pistachio snacking adds a dose of lutein and zeaxanthin to your diet, a small move with big impact. Plus, pistachios keep you full with decent protein and fiber, curbing mindless munching. Seniors say they feel lighter mentally after ditching weight gain guilt, since pistachios don't carry the greasy baggage of other snacks. Their mostly unsaturated fats are heart-friendly, especially for anyone worried about artery buildup. Still, moderation's key. They're lower in calories than some nuts, but per the USDA, 1 ounce about 49 nuts still clocks in at 160 calories. Overdo it, and you might sneak in extra energy without noticing. Those easy-to-pop shells and tasty bites can keep you going. Stick to a set portion to avoid accidentally polishing off a whole bag. Quality counts too. Some pistachios come salted, buttered, or sugared, wiping out their low-calorie edge and stressing your blood pressure. Opt for lightly roasted or unsalted to keep the natural flavor and health perks intact. Mentally, if you've ever felt self-conscious about your looks or fretted over fading vision, pistachios can be a morale booster. Peeling each shell feels like enjoying clean, nutrient-rich fuel, no guilt over grease or refined sugar. Some even say cracking pistachios doubles as a mini stress reliever, slowing you down so you don't overeat. In short, pistachios pack a double punch: weight management and eye protection via lutein and zeaxanthin. Aging might make you shy away from new foods, but don't sleep on pistachios. They bring big health wins. A tiny tweak to your snacking routine could spark a surprising upgrade to your wellness journey. 4 Brazil nuts, thyroid's best buddy. If there's a nut where just 1-2 a day can make a huge difference, it's Brazil nuts. These crescent-shaped, creamy gems from South America are like nature's treasure chest. What makes them stand out? Sky-high selenium levels, a must-have mineral for a smooth-running thyroid. A report from the American Nutrition Institute says 2 Brazil nuts daily hit your selenium sweet spot, balancing thyroid hormones and powering up your metabolism and energy. Harriet, a 62-year-old from New Mexico, proves it. She dealt with hypothyroidism, constant fatigue, hair loss, and a sluggish heartbeat. Even with meds, her doctor nudged her to tweak her diet, especially for selenium. So, she added 1-2 Brazil nuts to breakfast as a backup plan. Months later, her TSH levels improved, and she felt a real energy boost, less of that dragging exhaustion. It's not all on the nuts, but Harriet's convinced they've chipped in. Selenium's benefits go beyond the thyroid, juicing up your immune system too. It fuels enzymes that fight inflammation and oxidative stress, shielding cells from free radical damage. For seniors, a weakening immune system ups the odds of infections and chronic issues. So Brazil nuts are like an extra layer of armor, helping fend off inflammation and kickstart healing. But small yet mighty can also mean overdo it, and you're in trouble. Brazil nuts pack way more selenium than most foods, so too many can tip you into selenium poisoning selenosis. It's rare, but possible if you go nuts, pun intended, and eat handfuls daily. Signs include funky breath, hair loss, brittle nails, or even nerve damage if it drags on. Experts say 1-2 nuts a day is safe. Think of them as a superfood accent, not a binge snack. Mix it up, eat them straight, blend them into a sauce, or toss them in a smoothie. Their rich, buttery vibe pairs great with yogurt or fresh fruit for a thyroid-friendly breakfast that won't pile on calories. Store them cool, dry, and sealed like walnuts or pistachios, since heat can turn their oils rancid. Psychologically, tweaking your thyroid through diet feels empowering. Instead of leaning solely on pills, you've got a simple, tasty fix: a couple Brazil nuts daily to stabilize energy, mood, and immunity. It's a reminder that health doesn't have to be complicated. Just last month in California, a 68-year-old woman had to be rushed to the hospital after eating a nut thyroid she thought was harmless while boosting
According
immunity.
to Jaw,
Struggling with
stats from
hormone
the National
imbalances
Institutes
or
of
feeling
Health
wiped
and
out,
IH,
don't
a
skip
whopping
these.
20%
Stick to
of
one or two a
emergency
day
cases among
and let them be a
seniors
sleek
stem from
sidekick
everyday
on your path
snacks,
to energy
with
and
nuts
wellness,
topping the
making
list
aging less of a
usual
slog.
suspects.
Ever heard of these?
Picture this.
If not,
You're
drop
munching
a
on
one
these
in the
nuts
comments,
daily,
and
could you be
someone will fill you
unknowingly
in.
inviting a deadly
All right,
risk?
now let's
into
flip
today's
the
video.
script. I'm
Here's why
spilling
you
the
should
beans
steer
on exactly
clear of some
4
nuts.
miracle nuts
1.
that can help you live
Macadamia,
longer, a treat
keep your heart
with hidden
healthy,
risks, and even boost
Macadamia
your memory.
nuts.
But
Those
hold up, there
hard-shelled,
are also
creamy
4
white
other
beauties
nuts
have
hiding
long
some
been dubbed the
serious
queen of
dangers,
nuts for their
from
luxe,
poisoning
buttery
and increased
flavor.
liver cancer
You'll
risk
spot them in
to
fancy
nighttime
packaging
strokes.
on store shelves.
Sounds scary, right?
Often with a
Don't
hefty
sweat it,
price tag,
just arm yourself
making them
with
a
the right
go
know-how,
to upscale gift.
and you can dodge the
behind that
risks
allure
while
lurks some
reaping the
sneaky
amazing
health
benefits of these tiny
especially for seniors
superfoods.
wrestling with
So,
heart issues
are
or
you
weight concerns.
100% sure
Take
you're
Mr.
not part of
Trong,
that 20% landing
67
in
from
the
Ho
ER
Chi
over
Minh
snack
City?
nuts? He had
Stick
high
around to
blood
the end of this
pressure
video for
and
the
a bit of
clear
extra weight,
rundown on which
with
nuts
his
are
doctor
actually
always
good for
nagging
you,
him to cut
and
back on
which ones
fats.
you should cut
Still,
back on or
he
even
couldn't
kick out of
resist
your kitchen for
macadamia's
good.
rich taste.
I'll make sure
treating
you've got
them
all
as a
the
classy
facts
snack
straight.
swap for
From
candy.
the latest research
It started with a
numbers to
small
healthy
handful,
eating tips,
but that
so
deliciousness
you and your
hooked him
family
soon.
can feel
He was
confident
downing dozens
and
per
stay
sitting.
in
6 months
tip-top
later,
shape.
his waist
Oh,
ballooned by
and
nearly
don't
2
forget
inches.
to hit that
His
like
bad
button
cholesterol,
and subscribe for
LDL,
more health
and
tips
blood
down
pressure
the road.
crept up.
Let's
His
dive
doc
into the
pointed
nuts.
to macadamia's
You should be
calorie
eating for
overload
awesome health
as a
bomb
key
culprit
walnuts
for his
heart strain.
At first glance,
Why are they risky?
look like tiny
It's
little
all
brains,
about the calories
and
and
that
fat.
quirky resemblance
Per the
isn't
USDA,
far off
just
from
1
their
ounce,
incredible
10, 12
benefits for
nuts
your
packs
noggin.
over
A
200
famous Harvard
calories,
University
and 21
study
grams
published
of
in the
fat.
Journal of Clinical
Sure,
Nutrition,
it's mostly
found that folks who regularly eat
fat
walnuts
good for your
can
heart
slash
in
their
moderation,
Alzheimer's
but
risk
overeat
by up to 45%, a number that's left the medical world stunned.
indirectly hurting
Take
your
Robert,
ticker.
a 65-year-old from
Plus,
Boston, for example.
Tons of store
Alzheimer's
bought
runs in his
macadamias
family.
come
His mom and
salted,
grandma both
buttered,
had it.
or chocolate
After stumbling across that
jacking up
Harvard
saturated
study,
fat
he
and
decided
sugar
to switch
intake
things
even
up
more.
every
This
day.
isn't a total
He
ban.
added about
Macadamias do
5-6
offer healthy
walnuts
fatty
to his
acids,
breakfast
vitamins,
or
and
afternoon
minerals.
snack. The trick
result
is portion
nearly
control.
a year later,
Love that unique
his memory,
crunch. Mix
reflexes,
5-6
and
nuts
recall
into a salad,
stayed steady
yogurt,
for
or
his
fruit
age,
bowl, keeping
you
him
get the
sharp
creamy
and
goodness
confident.
without a calorie
Sure,
bomb.
we can't pin
Some
it all
folks
on walnuts,
suggest
but
pre-portioning
Robert's
into 10 nut
10
servings
they've
to
played a
keep
big
tabs
part
on
in holding
yourself.
off dementia.
Stick to plain
Let's
or
break it down.
home-roasted macadamias.
Walnuts are packed with
Skip the honey,
omega-3s, the
caramel,
building blocks
or
of
sea
nerve
salt
cell
versions.
membranes. Those
When
sweet
your
or
brain
salty
gets
kicks
enough
can turn into a
omega-3s,
craving trap.
inflammation
And
extra
extra sodium's a
backseat,
nightmare
and
for blood
aging
pressure.
slows down.
Costs another
Nutrition
angle.
experts
They're
even say
pricey,
consistent walnut
and
munching
overindulging
can
could
keep your
dim
focus
wallet
sharp
too.
and fend
Mentally,
off mild depression
macadamias
in
can
older
trick you with
adults.
their healthy
But
nut
it's not
label,
just about the
letting
brain.
you
Walnuts
ignore
are
the hundreds
loaded
of calories
with heart
you're scarfing
healthy
down.
polyunsaturated
For seniors
fats,
with lower daily calorie
especially
needs, uncontrolled munching can spiral into obesity or worsen conditions like diabetes or heart disease. Mr. Trong's tale is a wake-up call. Overlooking limits cost him his waistline and heart health. The goal here isn't to trash macadamias. It's about caution. If you're hooked on their posh vibe, treat them as a rare sidekick, not a daily staple. Cut back to 5-6 nuts mixed with greens or yogurt, and you can savor them safely without a calorie nightmare. Weigh your health and portion size, so macadamias stay a treat, not a threat to your heart or weight. 2. Peanuts, hidden dangers, and must-know warnings. You might be shocked to see peanuts technically a legume, but nut, like in the kitchen on this watch list. They're a cheap, familiar snack across America and Vietnam alike, popping up in everything from salads to stir-fries. But beneath that nutty crunch and convenience lie some real risks many seniors might not clock. Take Uncle Tu, 70, from Vietnam's Mekong Delta. He loved his afternoon bowl of salted roasted peanuts, so much he'd skip meals for it. One day he hit a wall, severe shortness of breath, throat itching, and red rashes all over. His family rushed him to the ER.
where they learned he'd had a major peanut allergy reaction. Lucky he pulled through, but now they're extra careful about anything peanut-related. First big risk, allergies. Peanuts are a top trigger for food allergies worldwide, sometimes sparking anaphylaxis, a life-threatening reaction with throat swelling and blood pressure drops. For seniors with breathing or heart issues, a sudden allergy attack can hit even harder. Then there's the slow burn danger, aflatoxin. This toxin comes from Aspergillus flavus mold, thriving on poorly stored, damp peanuts. The FDA warns that aflatoxin can hike liver cancer risk and cause long-term liver damage. Old or moldy peanuts, even with tiny spots, can carry worrisome levels. Grabbing cheap peanuts, hoarding them without sealing, or eating reused bar peanuts can turn this budget bite into a liver time bomb. Other nuts can get aflatoxin too, but peanuts are especially prone due to storage and processing habits. Farmers might dry them in unpredictable weather, or vendors stash them in humid warehouses, setting the stage for mold. With the FDA sounding the alarm, you've got to be picky about quality. Should you ditch peanuts entirely? Not necessarily. They've got protein, fiber, and unsaturated fats. Just go for safe, reputable sources. Skip sketchy, loose packs. Check expiration dates. Look for mold or off smells, and watch the salt or oil in pre-roasted ones. Don't store them forever. Keep them sealed, dry, and cool. Mentally, peanuts' everyday vibe can lull you into thinking they're foolproof. You eat them everywhere: coffee shops, restaurants, home. But Uncle Two's scare and FDA warnings say otherwise. One slip like moldy peanuts or an unknown allergy can land you in serious trouble. In a nutshell, peanuts are affordable and nutritious, but carry legit risks: deadly allergies and liver-harming aflatoxin. Play it safe with smart buys and storage. And if you feel off itching, breathing trouble, redness, stomach pain, stop eating and get checked. Seniors with health conditions need extra vigilance. One lapse could cost you big. 3. Pine nuts. Watch out for pine mouth and shop smart. Pine nuts conjure up images of buttery richness. Think Italian pesto or Mediterranean salads. They're pricey and elegant, often seen as a fancy ingredient. But there's a quirky, lesser-known catch: pine mouth. Tuyet, 58 from Da Nang, Vietnam, learned this the hard way. A fan of Italian cooking, she'd buy pine nuts to whip up homemade pesto. A week after a tasty pasta night, everything she ate, even water, tasted bitterly metallic. It lasted nearly 2 weeks, killing her appetite. Her doctor pegged it as pine mouth, likely from low-quality pine nuts, often from China. Global studies note hundreds of scattered cases tied to unclear sources or bad storage. Pine mouth is a temporary taste glitch, bitter or metallic flavors, lingering days to weeks. It's not fatal, but it tanks your quality of life and mood. The exact cause? Still fuzzy, but some blame rare pine nut compounds or oxidation from poor handling. Plus, pine nuts' high oil content makes them prone to going rancid in heat or humidity, leaving a funky taste. Calorie-wise, 1 ounce, about 3 tablespoons, hits 190, not trivial if you're watching weight or blood pressure. Salted, buttered, or sugared versions only up the stakes. They're not all bad. Pine nuts bring vitamin E, good fats, and protein. But if pine mouth or cost freaks you out, swap them for safer bets. For pesto, try pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, or almonds. They're creamy, nutritious, cheaper, and rarely mess with your taste buds. Mentally, pine mouth is a rare but real drag. Eating becomes a chore when everything tastes like metal, especially for seniors already losing appetite with age. It can spark food fear, risking malnutrition or weight loss. Love that pine nut vibe? Check origins, pick trusted brands, and buy just what you need. Store them cool and sealed. Fridge is best to dodge rancid oils. Notice an odd smell or taste? Toss them. Worried about pine mouth or cash? Test pumpkin seeds or almonds. Instead, they're tasty, budget-friendly, and low risk. So, pine nuts add class and flavor, but come with a bitter catch. Don't let their small size and big price tag fool you into regret. Choose wisely to keep your taste buds and wallet happy. One taste might be enough. Then switch to seeds or almonds for peace of mind. There you go, a full scoop on the nuts to embrace and the ones to dodge. Stay tuned for more health hacks, and let me know what you think below.